Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I will be doing a sketch of the late great Glenn Frey. I was drawn to this image of him because I wanted to challenge myself with the hair. I was always a big fan of this photo and the movement in the hair, so I want to see what I can capture with trying to do this portrait sketch. Again, we're going to start off with the reference photo, an eraser, number 2 pencil, plain copier paper. So let's get back into it. So with all my portrait sketches, I like to start off with some basic construction lines, identifying some angles, the horizontal lines for where the eyes, the nose, the mouth sit, and then just come in and really just try and capture blocking out angles to kind of get a rough proportion of everything, and then start fine-tuning from there. So right now, I'm at a point where I have some nice kind of proportional volume placeholder lines, some construction lines, horizontals where the eyes will sit on the face, kind of horizontal where the nose, in the general area of the nose and the mouth will go. And I tried to capture the angles of the face, the volumes of the hair. I may be a little short on this side of my paper, but I'm going to keep going because I'm off to a pretty good start. So maybe a little bit of his hair may get cut off with my final sketch, but we'll try to figure that out. But from here, I'll go in and start really trying to start blocking in actual shapes of the eyes and some other details in terms of like positioning of his nose and his mouth and all those kind of forms. So yeah, looking at this, I'm definitely going to probably end up cutting part of his hair off because I want to stay true to my reference. Because as you can see, this long lock of hair extends way out. And if you look at the negative space, it's going to come further over here. So when I make that correction, part of this will probably get cut off. But the main thing is capturing, his face. Yeah, the hair is a big part of his personality, but I think I can still capture it even if I have to cut off portions of one side or both sides of the hair. So now that I have this base sketch planned on my paper, I want to start going back and evaluating things from the reference and transferring it onto my sketch. I can see that, after the initial rough block out, there's some areas where the proportions of what I have on my sketch don't match quite to this. And then I also want to start placing placeholders for the angles of the eyebrows, start roughing in the shape of the eyes, the proportion of the nose, and kind of the layout of the mouth. So now that I've dropped some more placeholders on my sketch based on the reference, I want to really come back in here and really start being very critical of the placement, the proportions of everything on my sketch as it relates to the reference image. So I'll come in and I'll examine the negative spaces around the shapes involving the hair, the positive and negative spaces, and the relationships between objects as it relates to things on his face. And I'll also come on this side and really start fine-tuning the silhouette of the hair on this side if my paper allows it. Like I said earlier, that I started off a little bit probably too big for my paper, but I'm going to try and make this work since we're so far along. So that's what I'll concentrate on next. Again, like I always say, in steps of the process, you will hate your drawing because, it takes some time and some practice to kind of lock it in very quickly. So sometimes the steps to get start seeing a likeness between your reference and your sketch takes longer. So don't give up, just trust the process and keep going. Okay, so now that I have more of a accurate depiction of the volumes of his hair, and again, I apologize for running out of room on my paper. I guess I should have done a better job of planning at the beginning so I could get the whole complete portrait on my paper. But we're going to keep it moving on. And I apologize for bumping the camera at the end of the last portion of the last section of video that I shot. But now I'm going to go back in and start making some small revisions on, the shapes that I see in my reference versus what I see in my portrait. For instance, I know that this hair angle doesn't quite match the hair and the movement of the hair in my reference, so I'll revise that. And then the other thing I'll begin to do is start blocking in where the blocks of value start hitting his face, because that's very important in capturing the reference. So now that I've created my roadmap for my portrait sketch, I'm going to begin, start lightly blocking in values based on my reference. And again, I'll be using the black very thin colored pencil. I like to use this to do all of my shading on the back end of my portraits. Gives it a nice pop of contrast. But again, got to be very careful with these. If you're heavy-handed, start out very, very, very light, because they're not so forgiving when it comes to erasing. Your final can be done with a regular pencil if you're more comfortable using this, but I like to use the very thin, so I'll get started on that. So at this stage, I'm just going through and I'm trying to block in the big, large chunks of value on his face. And, as you notice, I've kind of done my hatch shading all kind of at the same angle, and that's just personal preference. There's no right or wrong way to approach that. But for me, I like to keep all of my hatch lines kind of going in the same direction. It kind of gives my drawing or sketch a sense of rhythm and some kind of a certain type of calmness to it for me. But again, that's personal preference. So we'll continue on, and I'll slowly build up the blocks of value in his face according to the reference. So as I continue to build up the value in my sketch based on my reference, I'm going to continue just to subtly build on the shapes of the shadows, the subtle variations, and then I will start punching in details and darks to kind of finish this off. So as you can see, this is a process. It's not going to happen really fast. So it's just a constant buildup of value, and with his hair having a lot of different subtle values in it. It's just going to be one of those things where I try to block in all the values of his hair, and then I'll come back in with sharp detail and try to kind of give you an indication of the direction of the hair flow. So it's going to be broad values and shapes, and then detailed directional strokes with my pencil. Okay, so I apologize. My camera shut off. I didn't capture what I wanted to capture of me blocking in. Okay, sorry for the weird cut, but like I said in previous videos, I'm working on a very old iPhone, so my storage is limited. So I apologize that you missed some of the footage of me blocking this in. But like I said, I'm blocking in values. There's a lot of subtle values in here, so I'm just trying to capture those in my sketch based on the reference. So I'm going to continue on for a little while longer. I'll speed up the video. Again, thanks for all the love and support you've shown me. I think I'm at 300 subscribers now. That's amazing. And I hope this continues to grow. You know, if you see anything that comments, feedback, or anything that suggestions that may help me, or questions you have on my process, please drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll be happy to get back to you. So continuing on with this sketch of Glenn Frey. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you enjoyed this video and my content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing my channel. It will help my channel grow, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.